Hi there, everyone. I wanted to look at this topic of people pleasing because the last video that I did was manifesting my beautiful Labrador dog, which is great. But after some deep soul searching, I realized that a part of me had really tried to manifest it in order to please somebody else in my family rather than myself. And so I wanted to deep dive into why we do that. Why do we sometimes feel so drawn to looking for ways to please others, to do things for others, and we don't take into consideration what we really want and how we can be loving to ourselves. And I thought that was particularly important, given that I really felt that's what I'd done with getting the puppy. So I wanted to pose the following question to Spirit, and today I want to do things a little bit differently. I'm not going to do automatic writing. Well, I didn't do automatic writing. I'm going to channel verbally right now from this question, and let's see what we get. Okay, so I'm not going to do the read out what I got through automatic writing previously. So the question that I want to ask of Spirit is the following: why is it that many of us have a tendency to look to please others, putting their needs above our own? And how can we shift this tendency to one in which we can be equally loving and attentive to our needs as well as to those around us? Greetings, dear one. We are so glad that you have made time for us. We are, as always, willing to answer any question. The tendency that you speak of is something that people have been always have a tendency to do because they feel that if they are, or if they do please other people around them, then they will somehow, in some way, be saved. Saved from what? From eternal damnation, something that you have been conditioned to believe for so many centuries, that somehow there is a God, a punishing God, that is waiting for you and is waiting to see what you have done, to judge what you have done, and to outline and tell you whether you are worthy of salvation or not. And so it's this subconscious belief that we have been brought up with that makes us want to please those around us. And it's embedded in your genes. It starts with your parents, obviously, and then moves on to your teachers, and then it moves onto your friends, and then onto your fellow co-workers and your employers or bosses. And it just keeps moving from person to person to person. And it's something that you gradually learn to do over a long period of time of conditioning, because when children are first born and when they are young, they tend to really look to pleasing themselves and to really look to doing what they enjoy and what feels good to them. And they're so in tune with what they enjoy. And that's why often it's difficult to make children do what we want them to do as parents. You may find it difficult because they are so in tune with what they want to do, that sometimes what they want to do isn't or doesn't seem to be appropriate for the adults around them. And yet we condition them, punish them, and push them into doing what we want them to do, because We feel that that's what's socially acceptable, what we want them to do in the home environment so that they don't damage anything, so that they are quiet, so that they don't bother us. And we push them into submission through punishment and through telling them that something is wrong. And so by making them feel wrong, they slowly lose that connection to what they truly want. And so instead of paying attention to their internal being and thinking about what feels good for them at any given moment and allowing themselves to be guided to that particular thing, situation, person, activity that feels right for them at a particular moment in time, they put a filter on it and think, okay, is this something that would be acceptable first to my parents, my siblings, then to my teachers, then to my other fellow friends at school, then to other fellow friends, then to the co-workers, then to your boss, and so on and so forth. And even though we may not mentally think about whether something is appropriate or not, subconsciously we are doing it. In fact, we have learned to do it at such a young age that it's almost second nature. We don't even realize that we're doing it. And that's why we feel when we are confronted with a decision, we often subconsciously are thinking about whether that something is going to please other people. And we often detract and forget about pleasing ourselves and really thinking about whether that thing that we're going to do, we're going to purchase, the activity, initiative, or whatever that we decide to do is really something that internally we want to do from the deepest part of our soul. Because we are so subconsciously guided to doing things for others, because we have been conditioned to do so from a very young age. And so now that we know where that mental pattern, subconscious mental pattern comes from, what can we do to move away from that and be more honest with ourselves and more honest to what we really want, and in so doing be loving to ourselves. Well, the first thing that we need to do is to ask, why do I want to do this? So when you have something in mind that you want to do, you want to buy, some people you want to spend time with, whatever you want to do, ask yourself first and foremost, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to do this? Is it because I want to do it from the heart? I feel that this is in line with the true essence of my being, that I really want to do, and it's being loving to myself because I feel fulfilled doing this? Or is it because I want to please somebody else? I want to do something because I don't want to lose somebody's friendship. I don't want to upset somebody. I don't want to make somebody unhappy. And so we really need to think long and hard before we do something, why we want to do it. Why we want to do it. Because if it is something that we have always wanted to do, if it's something that we really desire, then it's going to be very simple to follow. When we ask ourselves why we want to do something, it's the easiest way to really tune in to our inner feelings and to determine whether what we want to do is really being loving to ourselves and the other people involved. That really need to work towards finding activities and being aligned with the energy of finding things that are beneficial for everyone involved, not just for others, but also for ourselves, because first and foremost, we're loving ourselves. Yeah, so that's what came through, and I really will listen to them. Like, okay, ask myself before I do something, am I really excited about doing this as well? Am I doing it because I enjoy it as well, or am I doing it just to please somebody else? So anyway, I thought that was helpful. And as always, if you have any questions that you'd like me to ask, please